All right, we just wrapped up the Sunday action in week 15 of the NFL season. Just 3 weeks remaining. It is gone so fast. I can't believe it's already here, but I'm going to go through, give you my instant reaction, all my takeaways from the games on Sunday. Let's just hop on into it. Okay, the Chiefs move to 13-1 as they take down the Cleveland Browns 21-7 in a very ugly, uneventful game. Very much Chiefs football. Jameis Winston gets benched in this game, throws 3 interceptions. DTR comes in, he throws an interception. Just a terrible day for the Browns all around. Nick Chubb breaks his foot. Jerome Ford was solid, 7 carries for 84, had a 62-yard long touchdown run. So nice day for him, but Chiefs, they cannot run the football, man. They can't do anything. Patrick Mahomes gets banged up. Carson Wentz comes in up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to put this one on ice. So not anything very impressive, really. Xavier Worthy was okay, but just typical bad Chiefs win. Mahomes is banged up. They can't block for him. Defense is still very, very good, though. They play on Saturday this week, so interesting schedule for the Chiefs. Saturday, then Wednesday on Christmas. We'll see how that goes, but Chiefs pretty much locking up the 1 seed with a couple of more wins here. Okay, the Bengals keep their season alive, moving to 6-8, taking down the Titans 37-27, a game where another quarterback got benched. Will Levis benched in the third quarter after throwing for 89 yards, 3 interceptions, also had a fumble on the day. Mason Rudolph comes in, though, throws 2 tutties and an interception when the game was over. Joe Burrow, not great, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but nice touchdown catch by T. Higgins. Chase Brown had a touchdown and almost 100 on the ground, but the Bengals defense they had a touchdown, they should have had 2. Stop dropping the ball at the goal line, guys, but Bengals keep themselves alive. Not going to really do anything, I don't think, but they're still here. They're still hanging around. Pretty wasted season because Joe Burrow, MVP-esque numbers, man. All right, this was a fun one. The Commanders stay in the wild card as they take down the Saints 20-19. Commanders up to 17-0 in this game. Offense kind of gets stagnant in the second half. Spencer Rattler comes in, another quarterback bench. Jake Haener was awful. Spencer Rattler comes in, puts a little life in. Cedric Wilson throws a trick touchdown pass to Alvin Kamara. The Saints tie the game with no time left in regulation, and they go for the win and 2, but they do not convert, so the Commanders stay alive, walk away with a dub, move to 9-5 on the season. Again, this is kind of the problem with the Commanders team, man. They look good in the first half offensively, don't really do anything in the second half. It's kind of like a microcosm of Cliff Kingsbury's teams in general on offense, like good start, bad finish. Washington's got to figure it out. Defense also kind of looked bad in that fourth quarter, man. They gave up way too much. Now, maybe they checked out. Couldn't get much going on the ground. Brian Robinson, 21 carries for only 65 yards. Jaden Daniels, another 66 on the ground for him, but he's looking a lot healthier. That's nice. But it just feels like there's so much more left on the bone with this team. Terry McLaurin had 2 touchdown grabs as well, and they probably missed 2 other 40-plus yard touchdowns to Scary Terry. Just not great throws by Jaden Daniels, but Commanders get a win, probably going to find themselves in the wild card spot in a huge, massive game against the Eagles coming up if they want any hope of potentially winning this division. Okay, the Ravens take care of business, taking care of the Giants 35-14. They move to 9-5 on the season. Lamar Jackson making it known he wants to be considered for the MVP with 5 touchdown passes today. Tommy DeVito leaves the game with an injury, so more backup quarterback action. Tim Boyle, not great. Tyrone Tracy, bad. Devin Singletary had a touchdown, but bad. The Giants, 20 carries for 55 yards. That's crazy talk, man. Derrick Henry, probably his worst game of the season, 14 carries, 67 yards. Maybe they're trying to keep him fresh. Lamar added 65 on the ground. He was a wizard out there. Rashad Bateman had a couple of touchdowns. Mark Andrews had a touchdown. Justin Tucker made all his extra points, so that was nice. But this was, I guess a positive sign. Ravens have been known to fall flat against these way inferior teams, but not today. They looked every bit of a playoff juggernaut as they should. And guess what? They still got to play Pittsburgh, a huge game coming up in that division as they tighten it up in the AFC North. All right, the Dallas Cowboys dispose of the Carolina Panthers 30-14. And this was kind of crazy. Carolina has looked so good the last 3 weeks. Probably should have won more than they have. They haven't won really any of them, but they've looked really good. They looked awful today. Dallas kind of dominated. Carolina couldn't get anything going on offense. Now, Bryce Young had a nice big long touchdown pass to Jalen Coker. That's the only offense they really had today. Adam Thielen, 5 for 51, but just kind of nothing. Chuba Hubbard, 10 carries, 32 yards, no running game whatsoever. And Cooper Rush, he had a butt fumble today, but other than that, pretty solid 3 touchdown passes. Rico Dowdle with a $149 on the ground. He's been really strong. Just kind of enough for the Cowboys to hang around and ruin their draft pick, probably get themselves to 9-8 or 8-9 on the rest of the season, not have a good draft pick. Cowboy fans are sick. Carolina, maybe we were a little too fast to think that they could actually be a competent football team in this league, but hey, still positive steps for Bryce Young and this team overall this season. Oh, the season that could have been. The New York Jets take down the Jacksonville Jaguars 32-25, moving to 4-10 on the season. Aaron Rodgers, 289, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, only 1 sack on the day. Devontae Adams, 0 receptions for 0 yards in the first half. He finishes with 9 for 198 and 2 touchdowns on the day. Garrett Wilson gets into the end zone. Running game really is nothing to speak of for the Jets. It's honestly kind of, whatever. 6 for Rodgers for 45. Look at the young man go. Brees does nothing. Isaiah Davis, Ashton Davis, Braylon Allen. What's going on, guys? It's just kind of weird that they can't run the football anymore. McCorkle, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. A bad interception to end this game. Really not that close. Better on the ground from the Jaguars. Bigsby and ETN have a nice day. Go over 100 yards combined. BTJ is really the star here. Rookie wide receiver, over 102 touchdowns. He's really been a positive sign for this team. But man, what it could have been, the Jets, if only maybe they figured this out earlier. Robert Saleh maybe should have stayed. The defense would have been better. Maybe they have a few more wins, but a wasted season, alas. But the Jets have looked kind of good the last 2 weeks. All right, the Houston Texans take care of business at home, beating the Miami Dolphins 20-12. What time is it? Is it Tua time? More like terrible time. Tua Tagovailoa, 3 interceptions on the day, and 2 of them were just awful. One of them, Tyreek Hill, kind of soft. Don't ever want to hear how great a wide receiver Tyreek Hill is. Nothing on the ground again. Devon Achane is really more of a glorified pass catcher at this point. Jonnu Smith gets in the end zone again, but man, they were awful. And it's not like the Texans did anything on offense. 131 yards passing for Stroud, took 4 sacks, so only a net of 104. They had 77 yards rushing. They didn't do anything, man. The defense just got turnovers. They got stops. And they scored enough. 2 touchdown receptions for Nico Collins. Kind of another concerning game for the Texans. They're just not super impressive whatsoever, but good pass rush. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with this Texans team, but Miami, the frauds that we all thought they were, we all knew they were, the Hawaiian Daniel Jones, their season is essentially done now at 6-8 as the Texans move to 9-5 and clinch the AFC South for the 2nd year in a row. Okay, the Broncos pretty much lock up this final AFC wildcard spot, beating the Indianapolis Colts 31-13 to move to 9-5 on the season. And I am not a believer. Bo Nix, 133 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The Colts were dominating this game. It felt like they were up 13-7. Jonathan Taylor walking into the end zone, and he does it again, just drops the ball short of the goal line with nobody around him, swinging what would have been a 20-7 game. Back to 13-7. The Broncos outscore the Colts 24-0 in the second half. Anthony Richardson, 38 pass attempts. Just not good, man. 2 interceptions, bad. Jonathan Taylor, over 100 yards, but doesn't have that touchdown thanks to that fumble. Richardson had 7 for 46 and a nice touchdown run. But again, no run game whatsoever for the Broncos. Broncos defense did a pretty good job today, but still, man, just crazy how this game can swing. Denver's got a little bit of good mojo. Cortland Sutton got into the end zone. Yeah, man, Denver's 9-5, but I ain't a buyer. Call me a hater. I am. I hate Sean Payton, but not a great football team. But they have a soft schedule. They keep winning games. Good for them, man. Can't wait to watch them play Buffalo in the first round of the playoffs. Okay, Arizona gets back on the winning ways, defeating the New England Patriots 30-17 at home. And again, not a very impressive performance by either of these teams. I just don't know what to do with Arizona. They were in control, but it's still not great. Kyler Murray was okay. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Probably should have had an interception. Very soft roughing the passer call that brought one back. James Conner, 2 touchdowns and 100 yards on the ground. Marvin Harrison Jr., whereabouts unknown, 2 for 32, no touchdowns. Troy McBride continues to light it up, but not get into the end zone. He now has the most receptions in NFL history in a single season without scoring a touchdown. The Patriots are awful. The running game was okay. That was about it, but just terrible. 1 touchdown, 1 interception for Drake May. Do love Drake May. Interception, not his fault. Hit the tight end in the hands, bounce it up, I think, right to a DB. That's like the second time that's happened this season. This is a horribly coached team. It's a bad team all around. Arizona 7-7, still there in the NFC West and wildcard discussion, but just not overly impressed with them the last few weeks, even with this win here today. Okay, one of the most anticipated games of the day, the Philadelphia Eagles win the Battle of Pennsylvania, taking down the Steelers 27-13. And whatever schism there was in the locker room last weekend, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, drama alert, all settled today. Jalen Hurts throws for 290 on a very good Pittsburgh Steelers defense. A.J. Brown goes for 110 and a touchdown. Devonta Smith goes over 100 and a touchdown. He has a nice day. And they really didn't get much done on the ground. 42 for 131. That's a ton of carries for only 3.1 a carry. 19 for 65 for Saquon. Rip the rushing record probably. Jalen Hurts adds 45 on the ground. But really, this was the Pittsburgh's offense. They couldn't do anything. 17 for 56. No running game to speak of. Russell Wilson wasn't great. 128, a touchdown, no interceptions. But this was the worry without George Pickens in the lineup. No real deep threat out there. Calvin Austin had kind of a nice game, but still Pat Freiermuth got into the end zone with 3 receptions. But this is the problem with Pittsburgh. They're very, very, very limited offensively, it feels like, especially when Pickens is out of the lineup. Philly's defense continues to be elite. And you know what? The offense seemed to fix some things again and potentially now win the NFC a regular season, get that 1 seed. It'll be a tiebreaker if Minnesota also wins out. If Detroit wins out, the Eagles will be out. So could be very interesting and everything to play for down the home stretch. Okay, maybe the most surprising result of the day for me, Tampa Bay takes down the Los Angeles Chargers 40-17. This game was 10-10. I think the Chargers were up in this game 17-13. They were winning at half. Yeah, they were up 17-13 at the half, and the Buccaneers just pour it on in the second half, get shut out. They really couldn't do anything. 2 touchdowns. Justin Herbert finally throws a pick. Baker with 4 tutties and an interceptions. Mike Evans, welcome back. He had a big day, 159 and 2 touchdowns. Bucky Irving goes over 100 yards. But again, 11 carries, 32 yards. The Chargers are the worst running football team in the entire universe when J.K. Dobbins isn't in there. It's crazy how bad these running backs are. Insane. Lab McConkey, 58 for a touchdown. It was just tough sledding all around. Quentin Johnson had a nice day, get into the end zone too, but you got to be doing more than this against a terrible Buccaneers secondary. Chargers. I'm very concerned now. Chargers 8-6. Probably still going to be in the playoffs, but it's getting a little dicey now. Tampa Bay moving into a very good spot to win the NFC South, and if not, very much in a wild card contention now. They have a very soft schedule down the stretch, and they are playing lights out ball. They can run the football. They can throw the football. That's a dangerous combination. Got to work on that defense, but they can definitely stop the run, at least in one of the phases. So Tampa Bay, shocking win, I think, by the score. I really thought this would be a tight game. Big statement win for the Bucs. Okay, no question about it. This game was the most hyped game we've had in a while, and it lived up to it. The Buffalo Bills take down the Detroit Lions 48-42. I talked about it earlier in the week that this game could be defenses out the window. Now the Lions defense is super banged up and they lose a couple of more starters today. It's just a disaster back there. And Buffalo's defense not doing much better, but a fun game. Josh Allen, another 2 touchdowns in the air and 2 touchdowns on the ground. So 4 touchdowns again for him. James Cook has 105 and 2 tutties, had a nice long one. The Lions couldn't really run the ball, though. 15 carries for 48. They just felt like they had to throw to keep up pace, and this is how the Lions lose. Jared Goff throws a lot. You probably lose. Goff, though, was excellent today. Now, some of this was a little bit in garbage time as they were chasing 2 scores in the fourth quarter, but 59 pass attempts for Goff, 494, 5 tutties. Amon-Ra, 193 and a monster 66-yard touchdown to get things going. Sam Laporta goes over 100. Gibbs has 83 and a touchdown in the passing games. J-Mo added a late touchdown. What a wild game. Tyler Johnson, the running back, 3rd-string running back for Buffalo, 5 catches for 114. He was their leading receiver. Keon Coleman caught 1 ball for 64 yards. Kincaid had a solid day. Dawson Knox had a monster catch and a conversion. Khalil Shakir kind of quiet though, but he did get into the end zone. But really, this was all Josh Allen. A lot of offense. Bills got some serious concerns with Josh Allen, not one of them. Probably your MVP. And now Detroit in a tumultuous situation potentially down the stretch in the last 3 games. They control their own destiny, but they do not have the tiebreaker. So if they lose that final week of the season against Minnesota, they could be in trouble, potentially not winning this division, which has been their team's best season in 96 years. So you got to feel a little worried if you're a Lions fan. The defense is just so banged up, but enough offensive firepower should help you see through to the end. All right, and finally, the Green Bay Packers embarrassed the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football, winning 30-13 in Seattle. Big win for the Packers, moving to 10-4 on the season. Seattle falls to 8-6. Now right in the thick of the NFC West division and wild card race. Geno Smith, not great, 149, no touchdowns, threw a bad interception early in this game that kind of put it away. He also gets hurt. Sam Howell comes in. He was awful as well. Jordan Love, solid day, 229, 2 touchdowns. Didn't really have to do too much. Josh Jacobs was pounding the rock. Only finished with 94, though. Looked like he was going to finish with 294 to start this game. Does add a touchdown there. But Green Bay pretty much just controlled this game. Didn't allow Seattle to get anything going on offense. They kind of played safe. Ran the football, ran clock, punted. But when they had to, they jumped out early. Was up 20-3 at halftime, and they never looked back from that. So pretty dominating performance all around. I think Mike McDonald looked a little bit overwhelmed for the moment. Primetime, his defense and team were not ready for this one, but tighten things up in the NFC West. The NFC wild card is tightening up. It's going to be a hell of a finish down the stretch, but that's going to do it for us this weekend. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What were your takeaways from this Sunday's action? If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You're now getting that weekly members only video every Friday, trying to help boost those memberships. Plus, you get all sorts of cool perks and emojis to things to use during live streams throughout the year. We got the power rankings coming out at 9 a.m. on Tuesday Central Time. So if you're watching this before then, be sure to check that out Tuesday morning, where I rank all 32 teams. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.